wrote that one. Was you in junior high? You wrote that one?
Probably. I didn't have a clue.
So she's always been this deep. Okay.
I'm a visionary.
You know how we do when we get in front of the camera, we get to having fun, kicking old times and that kind of thing. So that was like your younger years, high school, so you wrote songs. And then from there, how did you get into like the story writing?
This is the trip. Me and a friend of mine, we were pen pals, and we used to write erotic little stories about Michael Jackson.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So that was, I remember doing that a lot. We would send letters back and forth writing. And it's called fan fiction. Like, people do it now with all kind of celebrities. They probably was doing it back then too. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we used to write what's called fan fiction. Okay. And it would be about Michael. And we go back and forth. Wow. She would write a piece. I'd read it, and then I'd write a piece, and so on and so on. One of the stories was called School Days. And wow. I wrote one by myself called Model Citizen. It was Michael Jackson as a model and not a singer. Help me. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was a lot of the writing that I did. But I've written poems. Mm-hmm. I'm not really big into poetry, but I have written poems, you know. So.
Now, I remember when I was in high school, they had this column in the journal called Word Up. Did you ever write Word Up?
No, I sure didn't.
You should have. You should have.
I don't know why I didn't. It's interesting when I think about how, when I was younger, how I used to be more laid back and reserved. It took me, I guess, to get grown, to really get comfortable and to get out there. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that is. What is that?
I tell you what, I know one person who definitely had an influence on all of our writing. Probably especially yours, and I think we took this class together. Mr. Reed.
Mr. Reed, God, it's when you go back to high school. I forget some of them teachers, man.
Mr. Reed was the guy.
Glasses.
No, had thick bushy mustache.
Bushy mustache. I don't remember.
He was a writing teacher.
I feel bad now that I
He was a writing teacher. But I mean, we had several teachers who kind of pulled that out of us. The one that I remember in particular was Mr. Reed, because if your paper was garbage, I mean, he told you. No, he would have to. He didn't hold it back. He literally told you that your paper was garbage, and you had to go back and you would have to rewrite it. Yeah. But that was the class that challenged me, because you know how there are certain classes that you take that are like you can breeze through them. Yeah. And then there's some classes that you take, you think you're gonna breeze through them just because you get along with the teacher, but they don't cut you any slack.
Especially at Northwest.
Exactly. And Mr. Reed was one of those type of teachers that he really didn't cut you any slack. He expected the best out of you, and I think that was something that, you know, so as teachers like your Mr. Reeds, like your Mr. Bondies.
Okay, I remember Mr. Bondies.
Mr. Marshall, mythology teachers. Those type of teachers who pulled so much potential out of you that we didn't have. You know, it's interesting. I don't hear a lot of those stories from the generations now, and I'm not saying that those teachers don't still exist, but I don't hear those type of stories from generations now talk about the impact that the teachers have had. And it's interesting because I work with a lot of high school kids, and I see some of these teachers, and they have that passion. But it's like you wonder where the passion of the youth is now. You know, I would love to I don't know, pull together a group of young authors, man, and really help push them to another level of potential and help push them to write and see what we can get out of it.
That would be hard.
Because I believe the talent is out there.
It's needed.
Yeah,
it's needed. Because I think that might be part of the problem too. A lot of kids don't feel motivated. Yeah, I don't know. It's a trip. I don't understand how we can work this out. Right. With the teachers and the kids. I don't know. They take watching BET a little bit more serious than they do their school work. So.
Well, tis true.
He said tis true.
Tis true. Now, you've done a lot. I mean, you've done a little bit of everything that has amounted to a lot. I mean, I followed you for years, literally. Literally. As far as the different things that you've done some acting gigs. Yeah. I've caught a couple of episodic adventures that you've had.
The Executioner's?
Yes, the Executioner's Tales. I've caught those. Yeah. Some of the writing that you've done, I caught some of that. The internet radio show in particular. I knew nothing about Blog Talk Radio till I heard of her. She had a show on Friday nights?
Yeah, Friday nights.
On Friday nights called Ask Dangerously. Live. Now, does that sound like a safe show to you? Ask Dangerously Live.
It is a safe show.
Yeah, okay. Friday nights, all right? But you had a lot of interesting people on there. You had a lot of interesting topics on there. How in the world did you end up there?
That show started out on, and I'm trying to remember the name of the network. Oh my goodness, because it wasn't on Blog Talk Radio first. It was on another network first, and I can't even remember the name of the network. That's so sad. But shout out to Shauna Brown because it was her network.
Okay.
And when I took it to Blog Talk Radio, that's when I had a co-host. I had live guests, people calling in, and basically you just pretty much with MySpace. It was hot back in the day, back when I was doing my show. And it's okay. It's okay. And there were.
I'm trying to hide this. There are cut that out. I'm hiding mine. Oh, a mess.
But there are a lot of independent artists on MySpace. You know, people that want to get some press and they want to be heard. So it's just a matter of asking them to come on the show. And I mean, I've never had anybody A-list on. I've had, what's his name? Marlon Wayans Jr. I've had him on. I've had Bernadette Cooper from Climax on. I've had some people who probably be C-listers, you know, maybe B-C list.
At least you had some people that were on the list.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So,
you're right.
But yeah, a lot of unknown people, because I like to try to bring unknown people to the forefront. Because I'm one of them people too. I need to be brought to the forefront as well. So yeah, and there's a lot of talented people out there.
Absolutely.
Sure, people with messages and good music, you know, like you said. And I mean, I guess the entertainment industry is only big enough for so many people, I guess.
Well, big enough for people that they're comfortable to let in.
Yeah. These record companies is something else, ain't
right.
They?
Ain't they? You know, and it's almost like, you know, you got to self-publish and keep pushing it. You got to sell books out of your trunk or sell CDs out of your trunk in order to really be heard and really make it. And there are some people out there who have a message. You know, and some people who are out there who really have some things to say, you know, that we never get the opportunity to hear. And it's unfortunate because of the fact that, you know, we're looking for solutions, and some of the solutions might be right in our own community.
Right. And, you know, I've had people ask me, why are you self-published? You was in Zane's book. Why are you self-published? I'm like, well, because she didn't want to publish my book. You know, I've sent this book to different publishers, and I got denied. And that's what happens. You get denied. When you're unknown, it's hard to get published. If you don't have an agent, it's hard to get published. And really the way it works now is if you can prove as a self-published author that you can sell millions of copies, or however many you can sell, then they're like, aha, she can make us some money, let's sign her. That's when you get the book deal, when you can prove that you can do it on your own. Isn't that interesting?
So, exactly, why do I need your help?
Right.
If I can do it on my own?
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm not really, I can't say I wouldn't accept a 3-book deal or a 1-book deal. It depends on how much they're putting on the table and how they want to, because they would try to control your stuff too.
Oh, definitely.
But I'm cool doing it this way because I have control over. I get all the money.
Well, you're able to be who you are.
Yeah.
And you don't have to change that element of yourself when you put your material out there.
Yeah.
So let's kind of talk about, okay, you finished at Northwestern. We obviously graduated the same year.
Yes.
If you ain't scared for me to put it out there, I'll go ahead and put it out there. We are the class of 1993.
Yeah.
All right. Class of 1993. We got
a
20-year reunion coming up.
You going?
Don't know yet.
I went to the last one. I wasn't that impressed.
Well,
so we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, 20 years though. You know, I mean, that's a major milestone. I mean, we look good for our age. You know.
But we only 30-something.
Well, yeah, that's true.
But
you know, but see, I work with high school kids that say I'm old.
See, and they be killing me with that. I'm like, you know, if you lucky, you'll get to be our age.
Exactly.
And then you'll see that it's not that old because time flies after you get out of high school.
Oh, it does.
And I'm like,
where did it go?
High
school is forever? It's funny because
when I was
interviewing Mr.